Have you ever wondered if lying is always, without exception, a sin? It is a question that challenges our moral boundaries, especially when we think about extreme life or death situations. Most people want a simple rule to follow, but they often find themselves caught between absolute legalism and slippery moral compromise. We know that God demands truth, yet we wonder about the white lies told to protect someone's feelings, or the historic deceptions used to save innocent lives during wartime. But the Bible gives us a steady anchor of truth that addresses both God's perfect character and our complicated world. In Proverbs 6:16-17, Scripture lists things that are an abomination to the Lord, and right near the top is a lying tongue. That definitive statement shows us how seriously God takes honesty. What happens when we look at deception through the lens of scriptural history and divine priority? By the end of this video, you may realize that while God's nature is absolute truth, the Bible reveals a powerful hierarchy of mercy that changes how we view extreme situations. Number 1, deception directly contradicts the very nature of God. One of the first things we must establish is why lying is considered a sin in the first place. Honesty is not just a convenient social rule. It is a reflection of the character of the Creator. God cannot lie because truth is who He is. Numbers 23:19 states clearly, God is not a man that He should lie. Conversely, Scripture identifies Satan as the originator of deception. In John 8:44, Jesus describes the devil by saying, "When he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own resources, for he is a liar and the father of it." Because a believer is called to be conformed to the image of Christ. Practicing deceit aligns our behavior with the enemy rather than our Father. In normal daily life, lying is a sin because it actively rejects the truth-telling nature of the God we serve. Number 2, Scripture records instances where deception saved lives. While the general rule of Scripture commands absolute honesty, the Bible realistically records specific, extraordinary historic events where people used deception to protect the innocent. Think about the Hebrew midwives in Exodus chapter 1. Pharaoh commanded them to murder all newborn Hebrew boys, but they feared God, disobeyed the king, and gave a deceptive explanation to cover their actions. The Bible notes in Exodus 1:20 that God dealt well with the midwives because they chose to protect life. Similarly, Joshua chapter 2 tells the story of Rahab the prostitute, who hid the Hebrew spies and lied directly to the king's soldiers about their whereabouts. Rahab's deception saved the spies, and far from being condemned, she is praised in the New Testament book of Hebrews for her faith. Number 3, God establishes a divine hierarchy of moral laws. To understand why God blessed people who used deception in these rare crises, we have to understand the concept of graded absolutism. This is the biblical reality that when two moral laws conflict, we are bound to obey the higher law. Jesus himself confirmed this principle in Matthew 23:23 when he scolded the religious leaders for tracking tiny rules while neglecting the weightier matters of the law, justice and mercy and faith. When Rahab was forced to choose between the moral obligation to tell the truth to a murderous soldier and the higher moral obligation to preserve innocent human life, she chose the weightier matter. In a deeply broken world, saving a life takes spiritual precedence over revealing a piece of information to an evildoer. In those ultra-rare moments, deception is not driven by selfish sin, but by a desire to defend the innocent. Number 4, selfish deception is always condemned by Scripture. We must be incredibly careful here. The rare, life-saving exceptions in Scripture are never an excuse for casual, everyday dishonesty. The Bible strictly condemns lying that is born out of fear, pride, greed, or malice. Ananias and Sapphira in Acts chapter 5 weren't trying to save lives. They lied about their financial giving to look more spiritual to their peers, and they faced immediate divine judgment. Colossians 3:9 commands us, "Do not lie to one another, since you have put off the old man with his deeds." If you are twisting the truth to look better, to avoid a difficult conversation, to escape the consequences of a mistake, or to manipulate someone else, That is a direct violation of God's law. Selfish deception fractures trust, destroys relationships, and stumbles your Christian witness. Number 5. Your life is called to be a beacon of absolute integrity. Finally, the overarching call for every believer is to live a life characterized by transparency and unshakable integrity. In Matthew 5:37, Jesus gave us a brilliant daily standard for our communication. But let your yes be yes and your no, no, for whatever is more than these is from the evil one. You should be so reliable, so trustworthy, and so anchored in reality that you never need an oath to prove you are telling the truth. While the Bible shows that mercy can outweigh a rule in a life or death crisis, our daily norm must be absolute honesty. Living in the truth is how we show the world the reality of Jesus Christ, who declared himself to be the way, the truth, and the life. Seeking God's perspective on truth and integrity provides a steady rock to stand on through life's complicated moral choices. If this video blessed you, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Bible Questions for more faith-building biblical content, and comment below, "I will walk in the truth." Also, share this video with someone who needs encouragement and solid biblical direction today.